if you provide a service to a manufacturing industry or to the financial domain, if the data which is there in any of these verticals, if it is not secured, or if the data is being shared with a third party who is not authorized to have the data in place, then the provision in the IT Act says that the organization shall be held responsible for it. Negligency in having a proper security practices is a burden on behalf of the organization to prove that it was unintentional. And therefore, under these circumstances, we find that many of the judgments, many of the orders which are now getting passed is also laying a huge burden on the service provider to some extent, but mostly on the customers who use these product or services. To go ahead with, when we talk about services being provided to an organization, some of the parameters which just struck to my mind, I just tried to note it down in my notepad. The first thing, as a value-added reseller, if you are providing a software business in the cyberspace, then I think there is a huge, huge opportunity. The opportunity could be there in identifying the needs of an organization. Many a time, organization invest money. In fact, some of the organizations in the manufacturing sector has now increased their budget from 8% to 15%, which means there is now a shift. The organizations realize that the data has got an intrinsic value. And as the Prime Minister says, the data is the new oil. And therefore, under these circumstances, the data has to be properly secured, protected. Well, there is also a debate on the GDPR. Very shortly, it may happen that we may have the data privacy policy in place. And once the data privacy policy in place, it can give a huge opportunity to various resellers in providing their services to the customers. If they don't have these services to be taken by you, then they could come under the ambit of law, where there could be some punishment in civil as well as some criminal liabilities also. The second thing, I think as a value-added reseller, you should be more like a threat response engineering consultant. We have seen the advent of ransomware. Well, coming from the ground reality of ransomware, in the last couple of years, I had the acquaintance to work on 21 cases. But let me tell you, except in one case, the remaining case, nothing could come out of it. When I talk about the ransomware, it's more important now to build a solution in place which can minimize such type of attacks. You talk about the threat response, well, malwares are a great threat to any business. It usually refers to a variety of an intrusive software which includes computer viruses as well as the other malicious programs. And therefore, I think under these circumstances, you could play a very important role as a threat response engineering organization.